how's it going? I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com, here with a Samsung Transform from Sprint. Now this phone was actually released a while back, but somehow it fell through the cracks in PhoneDog's system, and so we didn't get a chance to do a review on it, but we have it now, and we're going to give you guys a full review. Now this is one of the devices that was released with Sprint's new ID packs idea, where you could download packs of apps and wallpapers and ringtones. They were all kind of categorized by theme or by company. So it has that feature. We're going to talk about that and do a full review on performance and how it really did after testing it out for about a week. But first of all, before we get to that, I have to thank the guys at Best Buy Mobile for sending us this Samsung Transform. You've heard us talk about Best Buy Mobile a million times. They're great because they sell phones from every major US carrier. So for one, you don't have to worry about them being biased towards one carrier and trying to sell you a phone that you don't really need just because they work for that particular carrier. But also it means you have options. You can buy from Sprint or AT&T. You can test out the phones right there in the store if you want to. So thank you Best Buy Mobile for being so awesome. Thank you guys for watching this video, Samsung Transform review from Sprint. I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com. Let's go check it out. So here's the Transform from Sprint, and physically, as most people would say, it basically looks like a mini Epic. You know, it doesn't have the 4G service, it's 3G data only, but just from the physical design, it looks like a mini Epic 4G. So you have a 3.5-inch touchscreen. It is a capacitive touchscreen. It supports multi-touch, and then you have the physical keyboard. Now the physical keyboard is actually one of the best that I've used, and of course that may vary depending on, probably if your hands are bigger, you may prefer the larger keyboard that the Epic has, but really this keyboard is great. There's enough space between the keys. The keys are, pretty flat, but they're raised enough. They have just enough grip. They are sort of the rubbery, mushy type, which some people don't like that, but they didn't feel too mushy, and sometimes you can kind of tell. But really just a well-designed keyboard, and then you have a function key, shift key, a dedicated emoticon key for the textures out there, @ symbol, and your arrows. So nice keyboard. I love the keyboard. Probably that's the highlight of the device. It's just the keyboard is just very well designed. You do also have the virtual keyboard. Since it's Android, you can use a virtual keyboard. Now, like I said, it does ship with Android 2.1. It's just stock Android, save for the custom ID packs idea that Sprint and Samsung has added to it. But for the most part, it's just stock Android. Now, one of the nice things about the device, it seems like Sprint and Samsung has really kind of targeted this device for beginner Android users. Because when you first turn it on, you have these widgets that are displayed. They're kind of spread out more throughout the screens, but I've put them on just 2 screens since the other ones are taken up. But you can see it basically shows you how to use Android. Swipe down from the top of the screen to see your notifications, swipe side to side to see additional desktops, tap and hold an empty space to add a new widget, and then there's widgets to tap here and then drag this down to the trash and then tap the ID button. So, it makes it very easy right out of the box. You can easily learn Android within, just a couple of minutes. And then the ID packs idea is sort of kind of along those same lines because it comes with an ID pack, but then you can add new ones. And they're kind of basically designed by category. So you have an entertainment, small business, Yahoo, MTV, Sprint, auto enthusiast. And basically these ID packs come with apps. They come with apps, wallpapers, some custom ringtones sometimes, but usually the main feature of it is that it comes with apps. So if you're new to Android, don't know exactly what apps are in the market, you don't really know what's available to you, but that you're really into entertainment. You want some apps for music, for getting movie show times, you want maybe Pandora, you want apps like that. You just don't know where they are or if they're even available. You can just download the entertainment app and it'll be available. So in that way, I think the ID packs idea is a very good one because, then you can just download one ID and you can see from the one ID that I've downloaded, I got several extra apps like Fandango, E! News, And so, in that way, I also, Pandora came with it, Tweetcaster. So in that way, it's very useful. As far as actually switching between ID packs, I don't really think that's necessary because, as you can see, the apps are still available even though I'm in just my normal mode. Not only that, but switching to another ID, it takes a while. And, since the apps are already available, the only difference you're going to see is a different wallpaper, and the widgets are already kind of set up for you. So ID packs, for getting the apps, it's great. For switching between the two, I don't really think it's necessary. But it is nice that they kind of made it easier for beginners to use. Now it does have an 800 megahertz processor, Qualcomm processor, and I really notice it's really laggy. And you may notice it or not here in this video, but just in using or doing simple tasks, there was a bit of a lag, and so that was kind of disappointing. Also, the phone is very buggy. For example, I had problems with certain widgets and certain apps malfunctioning. It could have been the app, but it seemed to just be a problem with the phone. Sometimes when I would select the camera, it would take me to the camera, but the screen would just be green. It wouldn't actually show anything, it would just be green. So it was kind of buggy, and then the processor overall was pretty slow, and it made it difficult to run multiple apps at the same time. So, if I happened to be doing some web browsing, and then I went back and maybe went to Twidroid or movies or messaging, it really lagged a lot. And so I'm kind of disappointed by the speed of the device. I would expect better from an 800 megahertz processor. It's not a Snapdragon, and it's not Hummingbird or anything like that, but 800, that's not far behind. And so I was definitely disappointed by the speed. Now, I talked about the camera just a minute ago. It does have a 3.2 megapixel camera, autofocus, also has a flash. It also has a front-facing camera, though right now there's no video chat capabilities, but it does have the front-facing camera, VGA quality, so 640 by 480. But this is a 3.2 megapixel camera. Picture quality was actually pretty decent, and it wasn't bad. I was pretty impressed. Whenever I used it, indoors, outdoors, let me see if I can find the gallery. The picture quality was pretty impressive. Now it does also capture video, but it's only QVGA video capture, so not HD, not even VGA would have been nice. But it does capture video. But I was definitely impressed by the camera. Also, in terms of media, you of course get the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on top, but you also get a micro SD card slot. It's underneath the battery cover, but you don't have to take out the battery in order to get to it, so it's right here. Now it does ship with a 2 gig card, and it supports up to 32 gigs. So again, in terms of music, it's stock Android, so the music player is a pretty basic, but you do have access to the market, of course, where you can download Pandora or Slacker Radio if you'd like. This reminds me, going back to the lock screen, I talked earlier how the phone was kind of buggy. For a while, when I first started using it, I would push the unlock button and this screen wouldn't come up. It would just go straight from black, pushing it, and then it would go straight to the home screen, which wasn't too big of a deal, but it's definitely not the way it's supposed to work. I had to turn the phone off, and restart it. So just little things like that. It was just sort of buggy. So let's take a quick look at the browser. It does have the stock Android browser, although you can see I downloaded a custom browser, but we'll just use a stock Android browser. It is a 3G phone, so you can see I'm getting speeds here. I'm not currently connected to Wi-Fi, so we'll just go here, and you can see the virtual keyboard. We'll slide it out and use the physical keyboard. Go to my favorite website in the world, phonedog.com. We'll load it up. Again, I can't stress enough how great the keyboard is. Just immediately as I started using it, it was very easy to type on, and it was great. So definitely can't say enough about the keyboard. I really enjoyed it, and it's one of the best that I've used. And you know, that's going to vary person to person, but I've heard, you know, several other people say the same thing. It was one of the best keyboards that they've used. Some people preferred it over the Epic. Some people won't like it, they'll prefer the Epic, but it's definitely a top-notch keyboard. So you'll notice while it's loading here, it's loading pretty slowly, and data speeds are really going to depend, they're really going to vary on coverage in your area. Where I'm at right now, it's a really bad coverage area, so speeds were pretty slow. And I did have some moments where it kind of cut in and out. It told me I didn't have access to a network, even though I clearly did. I clearly had full bars. You know, the arrows were, you know, moving up and down. And so, you know, I did have some minor problems with Sprint's network, but again, that's just going to depend on coverage in your area. So in some places, it'll be better than most. So the page is almost loaded here. You can see it says you have double tap to zoom if you'd like that. But you also have multi-touch that you can use. And as you can see, it's not too bad, pretty smooth. It's going to depend on how many programs you have running at the moment, but you know, it wasn't too bad. So that's pretty much it with the Samsung Transform stock Android 3-megapixel camera, Sprint ID packs, and one of the best physical keyboards that I've used. So you can check it out at your Sprint store. It's $149 on contract, though you may be able to find it for a lower price if you shop around or if they're having some specials. My overall impression of it is that I love the keyboard. If you want stock Android, it's perfect, and if you're a new user, it'll probably be good for you. However, you know, personally, I experienced too much lag. The processor just could not keep up with the minor tasks that I was doing, and so that for me was pretty frustrating. So I would definitely consider that, and you know, consider the price, $149, or you could get a high-end smartphone for $50 more. So you know, I may consider doing that rather than getting this, especially since I experienced a lot of problems with it, with the speed and with the processor speed. But there it is, guys. It's the Transform from Sprint. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Be sure and check out PhoneDog.com for more news, updates, and reviews. Also, I'm pretty sure you've probably heard by now we're giving away a ton of tablets, iPads, Galaxy Tabs, BlackBerry Playbooks. If you have any questions about that, guys, you can go to our Facebook page, and when you go to enter the sweepstakes, there's a tab with frequently asked questions. So if you want to know, you know, what are my odds of winning, or is anybody actually going to win this, or where did you guys get all these tablets? If you have any questions, go there and you can find out. So facebook.com/phonedog. You can also follow me on Twitter. My screen name is It's My Job to Know. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com, and I'll see you guys later.